And good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Happy Thursday to you. Appreciate you being with me. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. And this is what I call my morning musings. Sharing a really good cup of Gevalia coffee this morning. What if I could sell them commercial? Anyway. Well, we are discussing the already but the not yet of biblical eschatology, in which Jesus spoke of things as if they were current or present realities, and then, in spite of that, would then turn around and say that what he was speaking about was yet to come. So it is an already but a not yet. And we are specifically talking about the harvest. Now, unfortunately, it's very, very common for people to talk about and say, well, yeah, there are two different kinds of harvest. There's one spiritual, and then there's the physical. Now, the trouble of it is that's presuppositional. There's no evidence for that. There's no genuine biblical evidence for that. It is based purely upon a presupposition. Furthermore, this presupposition violates God's normal way of operating. God normally operated from the natural first, and then the spiritual. But this paradigm that most people attempt to use say, well, this time God is operating from the spiritual and then the physical. But the question is, where is the evidence? You got to have some evidence. You can't just say, well, that's just the way it is. Well, anyway, we've been talking about the harvest. And we've already pointed out Matthew chapter 3. John said that Jesus already had the winnowing fork in his hand. Now, the image of the winnowing fork, folks, when we properly understand that, as I pointed out in a couple of sessions ago, the winnowing fork was actually an image of a post-harvest, or that is to say, a consummation of harvest image. That is, the wheat and the tares have been gathered together. They're now on the threshing floor, and they take that fork, sometimes called a fan, stick it under the raw materials, toss it up into the air, and let the wind sweep away the chaff. All right? So for John to say that Jesus had the winnowing fork in his hand was really to say that the consummation of the harvest was not long off. Secondly, we've examined John chapter 4, in which Jesus said the fields are already ripe unto harvest, and used festal imagery. Well, notice now Matthew chapter 9:37, in which Jesus said to his disciples, the harvest truly is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray unto the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. Same words, same imagery, same concept. So again, the question is, where do we get the exegetical proof for changing the harvest imagery from one text to the other? I'm asking for proof. Some people sometimes post on my Facebook, and boy, they just post all sorts of verbiage and no evidence, no logic, no argumentation. Now, they're argumentative, but they present no argumentation from the apologetic perspective. But the point of it is, here in Matthew chapter 9, Jesus was saying that the time of the harvest was present. And my question is, what's the difference between this, John 4, Matthew chapter 3? By the way, who are these that are the subject of the harvest? Well, according to Matthew chapter 4, in announcing the birth of Jesus, I want you just got to catch the power of this. Speaking of the birth of Jesus, When Jesus heard that John, not the birth of Jesus, about John and then Jesus' ministry. When Jesus heard that John had been put in prison, he departed to Galilee. And leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is by the sea, in the regions of Zebulun and Naphtali. Now watch this. Jesus is going to Galilee. What's he going to do there? He's going to teach there. That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun, the land of Naphtali, by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles, the people who sat in darkness have seen a great light, and upon those who sat in the region and the shadow of death, light has dawned. Jesus' presence in Naphtali and Zebulun was an appearance to those who sat in death. He was going to teach them. And the time of the harvest had arrived. The fields were already ripe unto harvest. Now, from a purely technical perspective, Jesus was most assuredly the first fruit. But this is the sowing of the seed. And Jesus would be the first fruit of that harvest. But do you see the imagery? Who are these people? They're the dead. And they would be raised with the beginning of Jesus as the first fruit. So what we have here already, but not yet. This is the planting of the seed, the spreading of the seed. This is incredible stuff. And we've got more. You don't want to miss it. By the way, let me reiterate the offer for the Steve Gregg, Don Preston debate. The DVDs and the MP3s are ready to ship. And remember, through the month of October, I'm offering free shipping on this. Go to my websites, www.eschatology.org, BibleProphecy.com, or DonKPreston.com. Order, follow the instructions on how to order. And remember, I'm offering free shipping. Oh, by the way, also, the DVDs and the MP3s of the Preterist Pilgrim Weekend of 2013 are also now ready to be shipped. Finally, after some difficulties. You can order those by the same way. Just follow the instructions on how to order the Steve Gregg debate. But instead of saying the Steve Gregg debate, just say the PPW 2013 and I'll pay the shipping through the month of October. You really want some of those lessons. Great stuff. Okay, thanks again for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. We'll see you, Lord willing, next Monday.